Hello and welcome to NewsClick's Daily Roundup. I am Aditi.
And I am Prashant, and here are the major stories for the day.
Assam teachers demand job security. Airport Authority of India Employees Joint Forum says no to privatisation move. Doctors in Delhi hospital on indefinite strike. US-North Korea talks to resume after Trump-Kim meet. Ola Bini fights for justice. In our top story is from Assam, where over 15,000 government teachers are protesting under the banner of All Assam Primary TET-Qualified Teachers Association. On Saturday, June 29, they held a massive rally in Khanapara Veterinary Ground in Guwahati. These protests are over the complete failure on the government's part to provide them with job security. Teachers say that the BJP government has completely failed them in the state. Here's a report on their protests and their demands.
Our only demand is unconditional regulation of all the TET teachers of Assam with full pay protection. We have been tendering our sincere service since 2012. It's been 7 years till today, but still till today government has not paid any heed towards our demand. They are not listening to us in any way. They just want to pressurize us from day one. They are not listening to us. They are not fulfilling our demand. So today we have assembled here to appeal the government that we are agitating here democratically, and if government won't listen to us, then this very agitation will continue. Actually, what happened? Our education minister in a radio talk show, he compared us. He actually compared our certificate. The certificate which we acquired after showing our competitive exam, when we sit, we passed and we got the certificate, and that certificate was compared by him with a driving license, and we felt humiliated, we felt insulted, and that's why all the teachers throughout Assam has written driver with their name. Okay, and on that day actually, we have seen that government is not paying any sort of respect, the due respect we demand, and from that day onwards, we have started agitating.
Our Assam government violated the RTA 2009 norms, state rules. There are certain norms already enlisted in the RTA provided by the governor of Assam regarding our apartment, in which there is
which sections you are talking about?
In serial number 18, section 23, subsection 1A, B, C, this 1, 2, 3, 4. There are salary service conditions of our service is written over there. In that particular section, there is written the particular government or autonomous council shall notify salary service condition of teachers in order to create professional and permanent cadre of teachers. So that is the main issue. For this, they created our post, additional section post under SSA, which is a project. This is the reason why we are suffering in the term of regularization.
Airports Authority of India Employees Joint Forum wrote a letter to Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Puri registering their protest against the proposed privatisation of the 6 profit-making airports across the country. The employees of AAI have been constantly agitating against the move since it was announced in November 2018. The Government of India is currently in the process of privatising 6 airports, including ones in Ahmedabad, Jaipur, Lucknow, Guwahati, Trivandrum and Mangaluru. In the letter, the Joint Forum referred to the privatisation of the Delhi and Mumbai airports and pointed out that it had not brought any good to the country or the people. The move hadn't provided employment or development of aviation infrastructure, the letter stated. Instead, it had encouraged monopolistic operation and exploitation of employees, the letter added. Well, here in Delhi, doctors of Hindu Rao Hospital in the northern part of the city are on an indefinite protest. On the night of June 30, the relatives of a female patient went on a rampage, manhandling doctors and breaking equipment after they were informed of her death. The doctors said that the patient, who was suffering from a liver disease, was on a ventilator and in a critical state. They have now refused to work until their safety and security is ensured. Only emergency services will remain working. No other departments will be operational, the doctors added. Last month, a countrywide protest had broken out after the doctors were similarly assaulted in Calcutta. Over 100 brick-kiln workers congregated at Jantar Mantar in Delhi today to share stories of severe forms of physical violence, abuse and humiliation that they have endured. These workers have been recently rescued from Bihar and Haryana. The labourers had been trapped in a web of human trafficking spanning the Banka and Nalanda districts of Bihar. Over 21 families were rescued from the region, and approximately 80 of these workers were women and children. During the protest, the workers explained that many of them were lured into the trade with the promise of advance payments. But even after full families working 14 to 15 hours a day, the debt wasn't cleared. The workers also complained that the state of job security in the unorganized sector is so poor that they used to remain without a job for 3 months at a stretch. To read the full story, please visit our website. Our last national story comes from the south, where the Chennai Rainbow Pride Parade marked its 11th year on Sunday, June 30th. Members, supporters and allies of the LGBTQ community participated in this parade to spread awareness about the rights of its members. June is observed as Pride Month world over, and Pride parades are held across the world. The march is held every year under the banner of the Tamil Nadu Rainbow Coalition. NewsClick brings you a glimpse of the parade.
We come from Italy, and we're very happy to see that also here in Chennai there's a gay pride or an LGBT pride. We're very happy. We come from Bologna, which is the LGBT capital of Italy, and we are dancers and also activists for human rights and for everybody's rights.
Hi, I'm Yashita. I'm here for Pride and I'm so happy, and I'm here from Chennai. It's so great to have a Pride march in your own city. Unfortunately, it's only for one day, so I'm here enjoying Pride. Woo!
Yeah, I think it's really good. I think we've done a lot of progress in making this idea open, but I still think there's a long ways to go in terms of marriage, in terms of allowing acceptance in homes, thinking about corporations and jobs, hiring queer people, and not just changing the logo into a rainbow or coloring something rainbow. I think after 377 we should look at a more substantial way of including people who are queer, transgender, and binary into the mainstream instead of just putting a rainbow out there. So I think this Pride March is more emblematic of that fact, that now we need to take more steps forward into including people in our society and not just surface value or face value.
Here we have all come together and we accept each other, we love each other, and we are proud about our existence. We are here marching to show that we are out and proud.
We now move to international news. On June 30th, US President Donald Trump walked across the armistice line that has divided the Korean peninsula into two for nearly 7 decades. He thus became the first ever sitting US president to set foot on blockaded North Korea. Trump crossed the border to invite the supreme leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, from the Panmunjom Pavilion to the House of Freedom on the southern side of the border for a spontaneous meeting. The visit occurred after Donald Trump tweeted about an impromptu meeting with Kim. After crossing back into the south, the two were joined by US State Secretary Mike Pompeo and very briefly by the South Korean President Moon Jae-in for a meeting that went on for over an hour. In the meeting, Trump agreed to resume the peace talks that have not moved forward for the past few months. This gives a fresh boost to negotiations that were stalled after February when the Hanoi summit failed. This summit had failed over US unwillingness to carry forward discussions until North Korea denuclearized completely. In the interim period, Kim Jong-un met both Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping. Xi also met Trump on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Osaka on Friday and Saturday, during which Trump let out his tweet inviting Kim for the meeting. Close to 50 Palestinians were injured during the weekly Great March of Return protests on the Gaza-Israel border, 19 of them by live ammunition. Ashraf al-Qidra, the spokesperson for the Palestinian Health Ministry, said that 8 of the injured were paramedics, while one of them was a journalist. The protest has been organized every week since March 30th last year. The Palestinians are demanding an end to the 12-year Israeli-Egyptian blockade of the Gaza Strip, implementation of the right to return for Palestinian refugees who were forced out of their homes and lands during the establishment of Israel. The protesters waved Palestinian flags, burned tires, and chanted slogans against the Israeli occupation and against the US support for it. The violence by Israel took place despite Israel and Hamas reaching an understanding on a ceasefire on Friday. Since March 30th last year, Israeli forces have killed at least 305 Palestinians and injured more than 17,000. The Israeli Air Force also attacked the Syrian town of Homs in the northwest and the Sahnaya outskirts of Damascus late on Sunday and early Monday, killing 4 civilians, including a child, and wounding another 21. The attacks, which are unprovoked and in violation of international law, were resisted by the Syrian forces. The Syrian news agency reported that several of the missiles fired by Israeli air forces were intercepted. The Syrian government issued a statement and called the attacks an attempt to support the terrorists in the country. The Israeli jets used the Lebanese airspace and targeted Syrian military installments. However, they instead killed civilians. Israel has been carrying out such unprovoked attacks in Syria for years. Last month alone, Israeli forces attacked Syria 3 times. In the first week of June, Israeli attacks killed 3 Syrian soldiers near the Golan Heights. On May 26 too, another soldier was killed in an Israeli attack. Over the past few months, we have been closely following the case of Swedish software developer and privacy activist Ola Bini. He was released recently after spending 70 days in an Ecuadorian prison, despite there being no clear charges against him. Ola Bini recently gave an interview to People's Dispatch, in which he spoke about the gross procedural irregularities in the case against him. This includes the fact that the only question the authorities asked him during his 70 days in jail was for his password. Here is an excerpt from the interview in which he talks about the global war on whistleblowers.
For me, people doing journalistic work are absolutely necessary. They are necessary for everything we do. Another fundamental right of democracy is that if you are not informed about what's going on, of course you cannot make clear choices. So journalists are crucial to this. And to me, what we're seeing is a crackdown of journalism. We're seeing that the only journalism that is allowed to exist are the ones where they report what the governments tell them to report. But investigative journalism, or journalism that is differing in some ways, are being more and more cracked down on and persecuted in different ways. I think that this is really worrisome, and it infringes on the rights of the citizens of the world to actually know what is happening.
You can watch the full interview with Ola Bini on the websites of People's Dispatch and NewsClick.
That is all that we have for you today. To watch these and many more important stories, visit our website www.newsclick.in, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.
Thanks for watching.